Hello again, I'm Deniz Yoldaç and I started this journey just last week actually, and I am already excited weekly to come front of this camera and start talking. To be honest, I have no idea what I will be talking about. It feels just like talking with the friends which you never plan it ahead, and that's how I feel right now. So today I might talk about being a woman. Yeah, that's the topic I chose. Why? Because first of all, I'm quite interested in politics. It's because I studied international relations, but also because I think everybody should be at least just a little bit involved into current political issues because it affects everyone else's lives. I'm not just talking about voting or just politicians or being on a side, but mostly I'm talking about what is happening, what our rights are, and how we can defend them. And in the last 48 hours, there has been a lot of murders towards women, and it's been rapidly increasing last years. At least what I think about it is I don't think it's rapidly increasing. It's becoming more and more visible thanks to social media, thanks to the media, I think. Murders towards women, I'm afraid, has always been an issue, especially I don't want to divide Turkey into east, west, or I don't know, south. I don't think it matters. It's all here in mind. And I have seen a lot of educated, very well educated Western men who actually, unfortunately, I have witnessed a lot of them by myself. And you would never say that it's such a person, but once you meet and once you get deeper with them, you realize that they are just mansplaining and they use violence when they need, when they can't prove themselves. The violence just doesn't mean murder or just doesn't mean slapping, but mostly it is how they make women feel. Anyway, so I want to talk about being a woman from my own perspective, not just about what I hear. Because I have been having difficulties in the last years to make people around me to believe that women actually really are having difficulties in the society. For example, I have a phobia. I have it since I moved into Istanbul because I was living in Ankara, and before that I was living in Alanya, which is a very small city in Turkey in Mediterranean side, and it was a close community. Everyone knew each other. And I never felt anything bad when I was living there, and I was too small to realize maybe even if something was happening around me. And after I come to Ankara, and I was in the high school, so I started to realize what's going on, but I was still not fully aware until I come to Istanbul. And just before moving into Istanbul, I lived in Germany for a year, which actually was a mind-blowing experience for me because I must say, I have never felt so safe in my entire life as much as I felt in Germany. And I was there without my family. It was the first time I was living without my family. It was the first time I spent a day outside of Ankara without my family. So what meant being safe to me by then was, for example, when I was wearing mini skirts in Ankara, boys were, complimenting me, but it wasn't compliment. I didn't understand it by then, but it was actually sexual harassment because, they were making me afraid and like they were talking dirty. I was just walking in the street with a mini skirt and not even that much mini, because I'm saying that much mini, it's not because any kind of mini, it doesn't matter how mini it was, but I'm talking about like a very random, even school skirt. They were looking or they were talking dirty to me, and I was getting blushed and just walk away. So I had this idea in my mind. I was a courage girl, and I mentioned that I was good at defending my rights, and I knew by then that wearing a mini skirt should be allowed because I was feeling well in it. And it's not just about mini skirt, it's just sometimes about blues, it's about, you know, anything that they don't see normal in their minds. I was even by then saying that I can wear whatever I want, they are the one who's supposed to hold their mouth. I don't have to change how I wear because they are stupid, they are idiots, and I still think the same way. But after a time, especially after I come to Istanbul and started working as a young adult, I was more aware of my surroundings and what's going on and what does sexual harassment mean properly. Of course, I knew, but I wasn't fully aware of it. That's important because even as a courage girl, I was afraid of blaming someone because I was seeing it as a blame, not like I was almost seeing it as my own blame because of wearing skirt. I was maybe, I don't know, but maybe I was also afraid of saying them to my family because they would say, they wouldn't say that by the way, but I was thinking that way. Like, oh, if you wear like this, they will say things to you, and I didn't want it to become another reason for them to, you know, limit me. And when I come to Istanbul, I started working here and I was using public transportation, and really every week someone was trying to, you know, touch me in the buses, or I was so drained by it. Like I was having anxieties when I had to use public transportations, and the times I was using public transportations was rush hours, so there was no escape from the crowd. What I try to say is, after I changed my job in Istanbul and I started working in an advertising agency, the first thing I did was buying a car with my own savings because I was so done with public transportation. And the real reason behind it was because of all the, you know, I had once someone following me after I get off the public transportation. The situation is not like that, at least right now, but I'm talking about 12 years ago. And I'm still having that anxieties, and sometimes people doesn't understand why I am being such a freak when I had to use public transportation. I'm avoiding it, I'm finding reasons not to use it, I'm using taxi, which is very expensive, but still I'm avoiding it. It's not in my hand. I really don't want to use public transportation. Just a simple sample of being a woman. Not everyone is acting like me, I know, but I'm saying this because it shouldn't be normalized. Like, no, everyone should understand how it feels. I don't want to be touched when I'm traveling from somewhere. I don't say that they are better than the men here. There is no comparison in that. I'm just talking about how I felt in Germany, because there wearing a miniskirt was not inviting a male to say whatever they want to you, and I never had any inappropriate, yeah, I didn't have any inappropriate comments. And there I realized that this is what normal should have been. Like I shouldn't be the one to blame only because what I wear. And I'm talking that so relaxed because I'm talking about the things that happened to me. So for example, once when I was in a bus and I was again just wearing a dress, and someone was a man was, like, we were literally nose to nose in front of the stairs. There was a door and we were just in front of that door, and I wasn't sure because it was so crowded that I wasn't even seeing what is below and what he was actually doing. I wasn't seeing with my eyes, but I was feeling it. And then I saw it. Why I'm saying it? Because I just feeling him touching me wasn't enough for me to stop him, because I could have been wrong. It could be because of the crowd. I was so afraid of blaming someone for something that he didn't do. So I actually waited until I was sure that he was, because he's like, when I look at his face, he's like, like looking around, like he's not aware of the situation. So I was having second thoughts. And at the end I saw, and he was trying to touch me, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he froze suddenly. Again, it was so crowded, and he didn't know, he wasn't obviously expecting me to yell at him. And he said nothing in the beginning, and then I said, "What are you doing?" Like, I pushed him, and there was another male behind him, and he said, after waiting for some time, he started to hold his stomach and said, "I'm doing nothing." I said, "No, you're touching me." And he said, "No, I am injured from my stomach and I'm holding it. I'm not touching you." I said, like, "Are you kidding me? It's been happening for like 10 minutes. And there was a woman sitting next to the stairs. She was old. And she said, "Come, my boy, come sit here if you are injured." I was even shocked because she was a woman, and I was hoping people in the bus to be on my side, not on his side. He was lying, and he said, because he didn't expect anyone to believe him, I believe. So he said, "Oh no, thank you, I'm okay. I'm okay." And anyway, she turned to me and like, "You are wearing like this dress and then saying everyone is looking at me, everyone is touching me, you are blaming innocent people." And I'm saying, like, I'm not like that. I was trying to defend myself. I don't know how old I was, but I was young, maybe 20. And I was trying to defend myself, and I was also so sad that they didn't believe me, but they believed him instead. Anyway, another male saw him and said to that woman that, "No, I saw that he has been doing it for some time, and he, thanks to him, he got off the bus in the next station." But after that, it became even harder for me to defend such kind of situations, defend my rights and say, when someone is touching me, because I was always afraid of people to blame me instead of him. And that stuck with me for a long time. That stuck with me, not only this, by the way, I also had some other bad experiences in Ankara. And I had this anxiety about those kind of things, that they will not believe me. If I don't have an exact proof, they will not believe me. And there has been a lot of stuff that doesn't have proof. The only proof is what I say. And people knew it, and people used it very well in the last 10 years. And I'm seeing it, these kind of stuff are so important, especially if that's happening when you are young, for a young lady to learn defending her rights. I'm not saying that everything a woman say is right, but I'm saying that if a woman is talking about a sexual harassment or anything that is about her body, I think she is the one to believe, at least to, most probably she's telling the truth. This last week, again, if we are going back to where we started to the topic, there is an increase towards the violence against women in the last 48 hours especially. And when I look deeper into the issues, it's mostly because of the women who are trying to divorce from their men, and it's either their husbands who killed them or their ex-husbands or ex-fiancés who are not dealing well with the breakup. And I'm talking about like 7-8 murders in one day with all the same backgrounds. And actually, since I'm usually reading a lot of reports about this specific issue, I know that more than 60% of the women are getting killed not outside of their family, but inside of their family. Like someone in their family kills them. It's mostly maybe their fathers or husbands or yeah, that stuff. So I'm having flashbacks about the violence against women and in my own background, in my own life. I am a lucky woman. I was not seen as a weak woman. I was independent, so they couldn't, they couldn't tame me with money or with luxury, with whatever. But not every woman is that lucky, and despite the fact that I was independent and courage, I had a lot of, especially speech violence. I don't know how to say it, but like I had a narcissist. I had 2 or 3 narcissistic personas in my life who ruined my last 5 years, last 6 years even. So after that I decided to come out actually. So that was the reason. After being a victim of a narcissist, both in a relationship and in a partnership, in a business partnership, after being a victim of them, I decided that I'm not gonna play victim, and I was not playing victim. I was actually a victim, but I'm not gonna hide behind it and stay silent like I did before. But instead, I am gonna talk about being a woman in every aspect possible, and I am not caring what people will think about it. But I know there are women out there, or maybe men, or doesn't matter actually. The gender doesn't matter at all. Whomever is experiencing such violence or such unfair things in their lives should go against it, and I'm doing it. I have the courage to do it right now, just here. Hopefully in the future I will do whatever I need to do in the law side as well. So yeah, today I came here just to explain a little tiny thing, my anxiety about public transportation. It came from that because this is something that people never understand, and I was sick of trying to explain this to people. Why do I need to explain it? Like, I don't care if you think, maybe they think that I'm a snob. I don't think it's as bad as before, because now women are way more love out loud. But I still don't want it. Like, there is no need for me to have an additional stress in my life just to go from somewhere to another place, or anyone around me. But thinking of such a small fear, such a small anxiety might even have a deeper background, should be a general approach to the people who have fears or anxieties, because the thing just seems so stupid to you or so unnecessary to you, might have a reason for that person. But when I'm talking about those kind of traumatic stuff in English, it feels sometimes easier to come out, and I feel more courage. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm actually excited every week to come in front of this camera and so see you next week on whatever topic God knows it will be.